Every time you walk into a grocery store, you are entering a psychological battlefield. While you might think you are making informed decisions based on the bold claims on the front of the box, you are often being led astray by legal loopholes designed by food lobbyists and marketing geniuses. In the United States, the FDA and FTC have established rules for labeling, but these regulations are riddled with gaps. Brands have mastered the art of the legal lie, using terms that sound healthy but have no legal definition, or manipulating serving sizes to hide dangerous ingredients like trans fats and sugar. This systemic deception allows ultra-processed, food-like substances to masquerade as heart-healthy, natural, or weight-loss miracles. Today, we pull back the curtain on the 10 most common ways the food industry tricks millions of Americans into buying products that sabotage their health. 1. The zero-G trans fat loophole. Why number 1? This is perhaps the most dangerous deception in the grocery store. Under current FDA guidelines, if a product contains less than 0.5 grams of trans fat per serving, the manufacturer can legally round down to 0. While 0.5 grams sounds small, trans fats are so toxic to cardiovascular health that there is no safe level of consumption. If you eat multiple 0-gram servings of crackers, cookies, or coffee creamer, you could easily consume several grams of artery-clogging fat without ever seeing it on the label. To catch this lie, you must ignore the 0G claim and look at the ingredient list for partially hydrogenated oil. If that phrase appears, the product contains trans fat, regardless of what the big, bold numbers on the back say. 2. Serving size manipulation. Why number 2? Brands often hide the true caloric and sugar impact of their products by shrinking the serving size to an unrealistically small amount. Have you ever noticed that a small bag of chips or a 20-ounce soda sometimes contains 2.5 servings? Manufacturers do this so the front of the pack can display lower numbers for calories, fat, and sugar. By dividing a single-serve container into multiple servings, they make a sugar bomb look like a reasonable snack. This is particularly common in cereals and muffins, where a serving might be half of what a normal person actually pours into a bowl. It's a mathematical shell game designed to make you feel better about a product that is actually overflowing with empty calories and metabolic disruptors. 3. Made with whole grains. Why #3? This claim is often used on products that are primarily made of refined white flour with just a dusting of whole grains added back in. The law does not require a product to be mostly whole grain to use this claim. A cracker can be 90% refined flour and 10% whole wheat and still carry a made with whole grain stamp. Refined flour behaves like sugar in the body, causing insulin spikes and fat storage. Brands use brown food coloring, like caramel color, to make the bread or cracker look healthier and more rustic. Unless the label says 100% whole grain, you are likely eating a highly processed carbohydrate that has been stripped of its natural fiber and nutrients, leaving you with a product that is whole grain in name only. 4. The no added sugar myth. Why number 4? No added sugar does not mean a product is low in sugar. It often means the manufacturer has used concentrated fruit juices to bypass the label. Ingredients like apple juice concentrate or white grape juice concentrate are essentially pure liquid sugar, but because they come from fruit, they aren't always viewed as added by consumers. Furthermore, many no added sugar products are loaded with sugar alcohols like maltitol or sorbitol, which can cause significant digestive distress and still impact blood glucose levels. You might think you're choosing a diabetic-friendly option, but your liver processes these concentrated natural sugars the same way it processes high fructose corn syrup. Always check the total carbohydrates and total sugars lines, not just the added sugars. 5. Natural, the Wild West of labels. Why number 5? In the United States, the word natural has no formal legal definition for most food products, making it the most used and abused term in the industry. A product labeled natural can still contain high fructose corn syrup, genetically modified organisms, GMOs, pesticides, and highly processed ingredients. Because the FDA has never strictly defined what natural means on a package, brands use it as a health halo to charge higher prices for the same processed junk. It conjures images of farms and sunshine, but it is legally meaningless. You could find a natural soda or a natural frozen dinner that is chemically identical to the regular version. It is the ultimate marketing trap designed to exploit your desire for clean, unadulterated food. 6. Fruit-flavored versus made with real fruit. Why number 6? There is a massive legal difference between strawberry-flavored and strawberry, and brands rely on you not knowing the distinction. Fruit-flavored products often contain zero actual fruit. Instead, they use natural flavors, which we've exposed as lab-created, to mimic the taste of fruit. Even the claim, made with real fruit, can be a lie. A fruit roll-up might be made with pear juice concentrate, but flavored to taste like strawberry. The real fruit is often the cheapest, most sugary juice available, used as a base to provide bulk, while the advertised fruit is nowhere to be found. If the actual fruit isn't in the first 3 ingredients, you are essentially eating dyed, flavored sugar that happens to have a picture of a berry on the box. 7. All-natural chicken and meats. Why number 7? When it comes to meat, natural only means no artificial ingredients or colors were added after slaughter. It says nothing about how the animal was raised. Many consumers see natural on a pack of chicken and assume the animal was raised without antibiotics, lived outdoors, or was fed organic feed. In reality, a natural chicken can still be raised in a cramped, industrial factory farm, fed GMO corn, and pumped full of antibiotics. To find meat that actually matches your values, you have to look for specific, regulated terms like certified organic or pasture-raised. The natural label on meat is a deceptive tactic used to make industrial factory farming seem like a wholesome, traditional operation. 8. The free-range deception. Why number 8? The legal requirement for free-range poultry is so low that it is essentially a lie of omission. To label eggs or chicken as free-range, a producer only has to provide the birds with access to the outdoors. In many industrial facilities, this access is a tiny door leading to a small, screened-in concrete porch that the birds, who are crowded by the thousands, rarely ever find or use. The birds often spend their entire lives inside a dark shed, but because that tiny door exists, the brand can legally charge you a premium for free range. It creates a mental image of chickens roaming green pastures, while the reality is often just a slightly less crowded version of a standard factory farm. 9. Heart-healthy certification. Why number 9? Some heart-healthy checks are actually pay-to-play seals of approval that can be bought by large corporations. The American Heart Association, AHA, allows brands to display their heart check, mark if the product meets certain criteria, but the brand must pay a fee to use it. This creates a conflict of interest. Furthermore, the criteria sometimes focus heavily on low fat and low cholesterol while ignoring high sugar content. This is how high-sugar cereals and low-fat processed meats ended up with heart-healthy stamps for years. It gives a medical seal of approval to ultra-processed foods that may actually contribute to systemic inflammation and metabolic issues, leading consumers to trust a box over their own common sense. 10. Grass-fed, without the finished. Why number 10? Unless the label says 100% grass-fed or grass-finished, that cow likely spent its final, most critical months in a grain-fed feedlot. Many brands use the grass-fed label because the calf ate grass for the first few months of its life. However, most cattle are finished on corn and soy to fatten them up quickly before slaughter. This grain finishing process changes the nutritional profile of the meat, reducing the healthy omega-3 fatty acids and CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, that make real grass-fed beef so beneficial. These brands capitalize on the grass-fed trend without committing to the expensive, slow process of keeping the animal on pasture its entire life. If it doesn't say 100% grass-fed, you aren't getting the full health benefits you're paying for. Becoming an informed consumer. The American food label is a masterpiece of obfuscation. As we've seen, the front of the package is a billboard designed to sell you a dream, while the back of the package, the ingredient list, and the fine print, is the only place where the truth, mostly, resides. Brands aren't necessarily breaking the law. They are simply using the law's flexibility to their advantage. They know that most consumers spend less than 6 seconds looking at a product before putting it in their cart, and they use that window to flash buzzwords that trigger a healthy association in your brain. To protect yourself, you must adopt a trust but verify mindset. Ignore the claims on the front. Flip the box over. If you see a list of ingredients that looks like a high school chemistry textbook, put it back. Focus on buying foods that don't even have labels, fresh produce, bulk grains, and raw proteins. When you do buy packaged goods, look for the 100% or certified markers that carry legal weight.